hope to enjoy your time here this morning. The young among you and the young at heart, and have a fabulous morning.
Thank you, and thank you to Marie for doing this. Thankfully for this really great opportunity for the kids to get to have a luncheon. At first they wanted me to pick 8 young hands from the audience to participate, and I said, what about the 8 that are my presenters? Okay, so now it's 16. So 16 lucky kids are getting to have lunch. So because they're going to be coming in a little bit early because of the astronauts' schedule, that's why we're kind of rushing things through today. So just bear with us. Now, our host at Hamvention is the DARA organization, and I cannot speak highly enough of the support that the youth activities gets. This is Don This man and his whole organization, and I could name every one of them, has been so supportive for 28 years. This is the 28th Youth Forum at Dayton.
Well, good morning. I'd like to welcome you to the Dayton Hamvention and to the Youth Forum. We have some people in here today. I'm the president of the Dayton Amateur Radio Association. This is Jim Storms. He's the president of the Southwest Ohio DX Association. We also have Jim here at the camera. He's one of the DARA board of members, senior trustee. And we have Dave over here that's in charge of forums this year. Doing a heck of a job, Dave. Great. There's a bunch of other people that I imagine are going to be introduced a little bit later on here from the DARA organization. Who's the youngest to ham here? The youngest child?
Oh, where is he? There he is.
That's for him.
And he's a ham radio operator.
Good. Carol usually gives us both a couple of seconds to talk, so I don't want to waste it all here. We have to get out and get our things through. But Jim and I and Michael Coulter's brother, who's now Silent Key, started an organization about 6 years ago to take youth to DX expeditions and make them to DX. And Carol has had a few people that have been in the Youth Forum in the past that have been on our trips and have had a wonderful time. And the nice thing about it is we raise all the funding, and it doesn't cost you anything. But here's the caveat, young people: you have to take your mom or your dad, and we pay for their trip too. Okay. I'd like to turn it over now to my colleague here, Jim Storms. Let him say a few words, and we'll let you get on with your book. Thank you.
Yes, Dave said, or as Don said, we take youth. How many youth here have actually been on HF radio and done any kind of DX? And you've heard that when somebody calls DX. How would you like to be the guy on the other end that is trying to pull a call out of that to come back? That's what you learn when you go to be DX. What it sounds like that there, so it gives you a new appreciation and new ways to actually be the guy here if you get a hold of that DX. It's very interesting. We do about 4 days in a foreign land. You learn foreign cultures and all that. We like to focus on 11 to 17-year-olds. We've had them as young as 9, but we are currently in negotiations for hopefully Saba Island next year. We are not positive that's going to happen, but we are working on it. And so we really are looking. Go out to our website, just Google Youth DX Adventure, and there's an application out there that you can see and see what we're doing. It's your opportunity. Now, I'm going to ask you, and you're going to have to think about this one now to get a t-shirt. What youth has been licensed the longest?
Who's 5 years or more?
As a license.
Licensed 5 years or more.
As a youth. How many years? 5.5. How about 6?
6.
7?
Go ahead, 7.
Year 7? 6.5?
6.
6.5 wins. And who is, and this is adults included, who's the oldest hand in the room?
Oh, you'll get no one.
Ron Northfield.
Ron Warfield's gonna be the one.
I've been to every Hamvention.
Therefore, that's
So,
tell them your booth number.
our booth number, we're outside Silver Arena, booth 304.
Excellent.
Come
Fabulous,
by and see us.
fabulous opportunity. Thank you. Okay, they're signaling that I have to use the mic. I will in a second. Where's Dave? Dave Hendricks?
Yes, ma'am.
This youth forum probably would never be taking place or without this man. This is the General Forums Chairman. He's the one responsible for all the forums, but he gave his special attention to the youth forum.
Yes. There was a situation that I dealt with last year. I apologize. Some people wanted to know why it was moved over to this room. It's kind of out of my hands, as you know, Carol.
Yes.
And I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
You know, what have you. But I want to welcome all the youth. Where's Tom at from India?
He's over.
Where's he at?
I just want to say, here he is.
Hi, buddy. I had the good privilege of getting to pick Tom up at the airport and his escort, as well as you. Yes, ma'am, I'm getting to that, as well as Faith and Carol Love. And I have a great admiration for you, Tom, and the other youth being represented today here in this forum. So I'm very proud of you all. You know, amateur radio is a blast. I've been a ham now for 30 years. This is my 30th year as an amateur radio operator, and it's a lot of fun. I've talked to all kinds of people all over the world. King Hussein was my most famous contact that I ever made, and that was really awesome. That was back years ago, you know, but that was a fantastic contact, you know, that I got to speak to one guy's QSL card. So there's all kinds of facets in amateur radio. This is a fantastic hobby. You know, it's just, the sky's the limit with ham radio. PSP 31, you name it, CW ready, it goes on and on and on. You know, and the youth today, I hope you realize, you know, it will open up so many doors for you. It's a fantastic hobby. But I'm proud of all of you. I'm sure your families are proud of you. They should be. The immediate family members. I mean, you know, I'm just tickled to death to see this forum go on. You know, because you are the future of amateur radio. You young people are the future. You know, we're going to pass on one day. We're not going to be around. So it's your turn to take over. You know, so it's a great hobby. I wish you well. Congratulations to all of you and the family. Congratulations.
Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Carol.
Okay, I will go to the podium only because this is so important to what's being taped that I want to make sure. This gets on our production. Now, there's a recording being made of this forum. Any of you, or if you know a teacher who couldn't make it here, who would like to get, I believe it comes in 2 discs at this point, of the 3-hour forum, and use it in a classroom or any kind of a youth situation to show role models of what kids can do having fun and being technically involved through amateur radio. If you would like it, it is free. All you've got to do is contact me, give us some time because it's going to be edited, etc. But it's available and it's free, and if you have a good use for it, please contact me. It's my call letters, WB2 MGP, Mighty Good Professor, @gmail. That's the easiest way for you to get a hold of me. Send me your address and you will get those discs for free. Okay, this I want to be on the recording because the people have been so generous to us. I want to let you know what prizes are being offered here today. And the last ticket that's going to be accepted by Ralph over here to win any kind of a prize is when the last child gets to the podium. No more tickets after that. We wanted that you would have been here to listen and support the kids. Okay, Icom. Cannot say enough good things about Icom and Ray Novak, etc., who has for years and years, 28 years, been supporting this youth forum. They are giving each presenter today ID51A handheld radio. That's a D-Star Dual Band HT. They are each going to get a backpack with their name and call sign on it and the RCA Young Achiever emblem patch on it as well. The ARRL, as you know, is sponsoring the Luncheon with the Astronaut from this youth forum. MFJ is donating 10 mobile antennas, 10 HT antennas, 10 chest harnesses, and 10 communication speakers. One for each presenter, one for an adult, and one for a child. The DX Engineering is giving each presenter a $100 gift card. Kenwood has donated 4 TM281 mobiles for this forum. Ralph Irish, who's standing over there, Ralph Wave, that's my prize manager. Through his club, Lance Cruz, they were the ones who did the printing, the beautiful printing of your tickets when you came in today. And also 4 MFJ gift cards for the kids, and each one is, Ralph? $200. $200.
No, these are store price.
Right. Okay. I also want to thank Charles Kermis, who got up to the microphone first. Charles is on my RCA Youth Activities Committee, and each presenter will be getting from RCA Youth Activities a $100 stipend to go out and have a good time here at Hamvention. And Charles has picked up the tab for that, so it doesn't have to come out of my youth activities budget. That's Charles Kermis. And you can see all the logos up front here. The Delaware Lehigh Amateur Radio Club is Pete here. My good friend Pete, a supporter, he and his group have contributed money for the youth Young Ham Lends a Hand contest, where we're going to be giving away a $100 stipend as well. And QCWA, you can see their logo up here, and no one's happier than I am to see that logo associated with young people and supporting the youth and getting involved with all that good stuff. QCWA I used personally before I was even a member of it by bringing them in as guest speakers. You've got the wisdom and experience of age combined with the energy and enthusiasm of youth. It's a winning combination in a classroom. If you want to know more about it, come to the QCWA forum later today at 2 o'clock, and I'm going to be introducing the youth initiatives there. So for all the people who are the co-sponsors of this forum, many, many thanks, and you deserve all the credit that you get. Support the people who are supporting the young people. And Tim Duffy, raise your hand, please. Tim Duffy is the founder of Contest University, and he's the one responsible for all those coupons that we gave out, plus the ones that we're going to be giving out for the young presenters today. Thank you for all the support from DX Engineering as well. Okay. Let's get on with the show. My very first presenter up here today is going to be Tyler Hammond, and that's KD8UAY. He's 13 years old, and he's going to be talking about contesting for elementary students. Tyler?
Okay. Good morning and welcome to the Youth Forum. My name is Tyler Hammond and I'm here to talk to you about contesting, but first I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm from Dresden, Ohio, and I'm in 7th grade at the Tri-Valley Middle School. I joined the Dresden Elementary Amateur Radio Club when I was in the 5th grade. We'd meet after school and we'd work and we'd get on the radio, get some experience, and then twice a year we'd participate in the school club roundup contest, which we were a 2- or 3-time winner of. In my first year of radio club, I was able to obtain my technician and general class licenses. I was the first one to pass the exam in that year's club. I'm currently studying for my extra class license, which is the final license to obtain. My call sign is KD8UAY. The contests I have participated in are the Rookie Roundup, School Club Roundup, and Sweepstakes contests. I placed first in the Rookie Roundup in April 2013 with a score of 12,943 points. Which was the highest national score of any category. That was with the help of my teammate Ryan Harris, KD8PIR. Other contests I've won include School Club Roundup in February and October of 2014, and we had a second place in this February of this year. And first place in the unlimited low power category of the 2014 November sweepstakes. With the experience I have gained, I'm going to tell you many things that you might like to know about contesting. I'd first like to explain some of the abbreviations I will be using throughout my presentation. HF, VHF, and UHF stand for high, very high, or ultra high frequency. I'm sure most of you know that, but for anyone who's new to ham radio, I wanted to make sure I got it in there. CW is another name for Morse code. And you also need to know the 3 different modes of communication. Phone is the official name for voice communications, and CW and digital are alternatives to voice communication. I would also like to share with you some of the most commonly used lingo while contacting. There you go. Put some time into it. Check your equipment. Bring up a spotting website. Schedule who will be operating and when. Bring up a spotting website, if allowed, to find the multipliers specific to your contest. Multipliers are those special contacts that add greatly to your score, like contacts from certain states or countries. If there is a chat for stations to use while they're on the air, you can coordinate contacts with them. Bring up a call sign database to confirm the information they give you is accurate. Listen carefully because there's a lot of information you need to get. You need call sign, signal report, location, name. You may need more specific information depending upon what contest you're in. You want to start on high frequencies and work down because atmospheric propagation favors higher frequencies early in the day, but as the day progresses, it starts to favor the lower frequencies. You want to move to different bands so you can contact people who you might not find on the other bands. And if you're in a group, you should rotate jobs so you don't get bored with doing the same thing over and over. Take a break if you're fatigued and make sure to have snacks and refreshments throughout. If something goes wrong, always have a backup plan. You may need an extra radio, antenna, or even a paper log just in case you have computer problems. You may also use tactics like search and pounce, run time, and delegating jobs if you're in a group. Let me explain some of these tactics. Search and pounce is when you use a spotting website such as DX Summit to find a certain station that you wish to contact. Runtime is when you find a clear frequency and contact people as they come to you. And be aware that some contests only allow one radio on at a time. I personally prefer working in groups because they share the work. Some reasons to contest is to get QSL cards, which are postcards sent by a station to confirm a contact, to have fun, and win awards. And most of all, for bragging rights. All right, and here are some examples of QSL cards for those of you who don't know. If you want more info, you can check out arrl.com or contesting.com. I would like to thank my school club teacher, Jim Marichek. Would you stand up, please? And send out a special thanks to Carol Perry for giving me this opportunity to speak to you today. I would also like to thank my sponsors. Thank you very much for listening.
How some special piece of equipment helped you win.
When I first came to the youth forum to learn about this, because my principal had come to me at the school and said, we'd like you to form a club, and that's exactly what I needed was something else to do. And I said, well, what should we do? And she said, a ham radio club. Well, I thought, you know what? I had heard of this person named Carol Perry, and she knew something about youth and amateur radio. So I came to the forum, talked to Carol after, and she said, by all means, don't try to reinvent the wheel. Let's talk. Well, we got to a position where the school club came into existence. Things were going well, or as well as could be expected with a wire antenna. Well, we had some problems with that. Wind, ice. We're in Ohio. Those things happen in a single day. And the antenna, well, wasn't going to work. I said, Carol, can you help me out? We need something. We need an antenna bag. She said, what do you want? Oh. Well, I squished my head a little bit and I said, well, let's just, a vertical. What kind of vertical? Oh. So I gave her some specifics. Long story short, Glenn, are you here by any chance?
Well, we can certainly mention him.
This gentleman, he's in North Carolina, I think?
Yes.
North Carolina. Carol got a hold of him and he said, you need an antenna. I said, yes, we would like such and such. He says, I don't have that one, but I've got a Cushcraft R7. I said, that'll work. the antenna. Nothing. That'll work. My administrators like those kind of figures. I said, well, what about shipping? No, I'll ship it to you, free. It was 2 days, and the antenna arrives. Now, I wasn't sure what I was going to get, but when I opened the box, this was a brand new R7, but it was brand new from the day he bought it 20 years ago when it came out. Just as beautiful as could be. Got it together, found one of our maintenance guys who is an expert with a welding torch, made a mount for the school. It's up on the 2nd story. This thing has survived 60-mile-an-hour winds that we've had come through the school area. Thank you, Carol. Thank you, Glenn. We're on the air because we've got a great signal coming off of a great antenna.
And you won.
And we won 2 or 3 years now, first place. And I'm so proud of kids like Tyler and his parents because, you know, you can have the best equipment in the world, but if you've got great operators, that's when you've got a winning team. Thank you for being part of our
And again, any of you know a school that's in need of anything, as you can see, even that, we'll see if we can help you. Get in touch with me, and through RCA youth activities, we'll see what we can do to get you on the air, as long as you're involved with a youth group or in a school. Okay, those of you who have been coming here for the past 27 years know that I always like to let the kids know ahead of time, because of course they're nervous and excited about being here, and that's perfectly normal. So beside the calming out emails that they get on the computer from me, the last one I sent out, I told them, never be afraid to speak at the youth forum, because this is a unique audience. This is the love audience, and they're here only to show support for for the kids. Well, one of them evidently didn't understand the message and emailed me back, "Who is this Mr. Love you talking about?" But I mean, good for them that they're willing to, in some cases, to get up in front of a large group of people, and absolutely total support from this audience, I guarantee it. Okay, you also know that I always like to have girls up here at the forum. Now, I saw these next two young ladies on Ham Nation, which is also a big supporter of our youth activities. I'd like to call them up. They were invited then when I saw them to come and speak here. Abigail Wilson, KFBEW, who is 18 years old, and her sister, Kendra Wilson, KF5FYS, who is 16 years old, and they're going to be speaking about youth and the future of ham radio. And by the way, that young man who won is the youngest ham here, is 6 years old. What license does he hold?
Technician.
Technician license, 6 years old. So we'll book him for the next year or two. Okay, ladies?
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm KF5FYS. Oftentimes, I'm just called Abby's sister or Galen's daughter. It's hardly ever, or usually it's just Galen and the girls. But this is KF5BEW, my sister. And we are very pleased to be here, and thank you all for having us. Okay. When I first heard of ham radio, I was in the 6th grade. And having never heard of such a thing before, or even the concept of amateur radio, it's not hard to believe that I sort of had a few misconceptions about what the term ham radio actually meant. Suffice it to say that after finding out what it actually was about, it became a much more interesting matter. My friend came to me, and when I was in 6th grade, we were both in a science class together. And at the end of the year, we had a science project.
project. And our teacher said, look, if you take an amateur radio class at our local children's museum and you pass and you get your technician license, I'll let you pass 6th grade science. And she asked me to do it with her. And that is where it all started. And my dad did it with us, and he was already familiar with radio from his uncles whenever he was younger, but had never gotten his license himself. So we kind of made it into a family event where my dad, my sister, and I all got our licenses, and we were able to do something that was just our hobby. It was very nice, and it still is.
And of course, I wasn't going to be shown up by my older sister, so a year later I got my tech license in the same class, and we've been competing for license classes ever since. Whenever one of us gets a license, it seems like the other one always seems to upgrade as well within a few months at least. And now it's no surprise that there isn't an overwhelming amount of youth in the hobby anymore. And it's because of things like this. Why talk on a radio when you've got social media? Why learn about antenna structure when you've got 4G everywhere? Sadly, radio is something that is outdated and difficult to potential youth operators, when there are so many cool aspects of the hobby that just aren't as widely known.
And now when it comes down to it, as most of you know, the purpose of ham radio is emergency communications and preparedness for disaster, which is already pretty cool in itself when you think about how useful being a licensed operator could be should such a situation arise.
But as you all know, ham radio isn't all work and no play.
So some of the more fun sides, the recreational sides of radio, first thing that comes to mind is radio nets. They provide a great way to keep in touch with fellow operators that you might not get to see all that often. It's a good way to keep up with them. And if it's a long distance net, your fellow operators you might not ever get a chance to see in person.
It's a great way to keep up with friends, especially on more relaxed nets that have more of a casual get-together kind of feeling, and we strive to accomplish that on our net.
And my sister and I have been calling a youth net for the past 2.5 years. Maybe 3, I'm not sure. And sometimes we talk about radio-related things, and sometimes we just talk about what everyone is up to. We just want this relaxed atmosphere where we really feel like we can communicate with youth, and although we say it's a youth net, it's really open to everyone, all ham operators. And it's a nice place to hang out. Just keep up with each other.
Yeah, and either way, we try to have a good time with lots of laughter, and mostly from us when we say something charmingly awkward.
3 more favorite radio pastimes come to mind. And first of all, amateur radio direction finding, also known as fox hunting.
These fox hunts can be a lot of fun, especially over a broad range, such as a city. Although you do get some weird looks when you ask your dad to pull over so you can jump out and do a quick sweep to make sure you're going in the right direction.
And although I don't have a picture of it, fox hunting can be super competitive at times, but it just adds to the fun. Our local club does them occasionally, and we always have a good time. We fashioned our fox hunting antenna out of PVC and a tape measure that we cut up. And I wish that I had gotten a picture, but couldn't bring that on the plane.
And the Ham Fest. Oh, the Ham Fest. Like this one, that happened all over the country at different times of the year. In fact, we have the aforementioned fox hunts. We have one in our Ham Fest in Rain, Louisiana, every year around March. And that's always very fun, and it's not nearly as big as this one, but we still have a pretty good time.
And sometimes we win the hunt, and sometimes we don't, but we have a lot of fun doing it.
Although we have yet to learn it ourselves, which we're working on it, we'd love to learn Morse code and just be able to talk to each other in code and just get on the air with CW.
And being homeschooled, it would be kind of cool to tap out a message to your sister on the desk across from you. Hey, what'd you get for number 6?
Oh, and we can't forget contesting. As our previous presenter explained most of it, it's a very fun aspect of the hobby as well.
It's a competitive radio sport, and it is a great way. It's a great way to pass time, and it's a great way to make contacts in new countries and new places that you otherwise wouldn't attempt to make a contact. And it really does a good job of putting you outside of your comfort zone and just allowing you to talk to people in scenarios that you wouldn't otherwise.
Like, it's also a great way to spend time with your club. Like field day, you spend 2 days with these people, and so you really get to know your whole club.
And here's a picture of us from our most recent field day that we had outside, and that was a lot of fun. We spent several hours outside with our club all together, and this person was gracious enough to lend us their outdoor sort of half garage area. And here's a typical contest QSO card you can get. So I'll move on.
And 2 more fun things about ham radio are Echolink and digital radio.
And some people will say that Echolink isn't real radio, that it uses the internet and it's cheating.
But without that radio, we wouldn't have been able to make half the contacts we made and half the friendships that we've met today.
And one of the particular things that I love about Echolink is that it provides you with a gateway to nets that would be otherwise out of your range. And alternatively, it also provides other people with a gateway to your net that they wouldn't have been able to access without the actual radio means. And here's a picture of Kendra and Dad.
And as you can tell, it was the middle of June in Louisiana heat, so there was a big fan, and it was still hot.
It just kind of blows around the humidity. Sorry.
As you can tell, I'm a little bit more comfortable behind a mic instead of in front of an audience.
Aside from just the fun sides of radio, there are several benefits to being an active operator. And one of those is that it helps you in your science course immensely. You learn things whenever you test just for your technician license. You learn concepts of science that will help you so much in your high school years.
Yeah, Abby, how's that physics test on wavelengths going?
It's true. And it also, I think it helps you in a social situation as well. It really helps with your self-confidence because when you get on the air and you talk on the radio, you're not being judged. There aren't people looking to give you a hard time. You know, there are people who want to help you learn, and they want to help you just get more involved in the hobby and just be so active in it.
Yeah, the whole community is very accepting, and they're willing to help out these young operators who, at first, you give us a mic and we look at you like you're insane. And they just keep trying, and they keep urging you to get on the radio. And eventually they do, and then you never want to get off.
And there will be times when you'll have the occasional person who will make you just put down the mic and say, "That's it, I'm done, enough for now." But you somehow always come back. There's an allure to it, you know, because you just want to keep going. You want to keep learning because the community is so great that it's hard to stay away from it. You can't let one bad experience put you aside because there's so many good ones to be had aside from that.
And although it may seem scary, it's not that hard, and everybody is really excited when they hear a young ham because it's kind of unusual. So everybody hears that higher pitched voice just by a little bit, and they think, I want to make a contact with them.
Ham radio isn't just about, it isn't just listening to variations of indiscernible static, hoping for somebody to contact you back that you might not be able to hear. It isn't holding a mic until your arm gets tired and straining to hear through the noise of the band. Ham radio is about the lasting friendships that you will make, and it's about the thrill that you get when you break through the pileup at a contest and you hear them come back to you and they call your call sign. It's the satisfaction that you get whenever you upgrade your license and any license after that. Ham radio is it's enjoyable, and it's more than a hobby, you know. It's it's a lifestyle.
And thank you so much all for having us. And Miss Carol Perry, thank you for letting us come to your Hamfest and just be speakers here.
Thank you, ladies. To say when we were thanking people and announcing prizes, Icom has also donated for my love audience. This is not for the kids, this is for the adults. There will be a drawing for an Icom 7100 during this storm as well. Make sure you got your tickets filled out, make sure call signs are on it, and make sure it gets up to Ralph up in the front there for the drawing. When the last child gets to the podium, that's the end of the tickets going in. And I also want to thank Jim. Jim waved at us. Jim Lee has two young presenters who will be here later, but he's the one who's doing the reporting for us and making and editing the bits for us. So thank you to you as well. Okay, now Mike Halter has been a friend for many, many years, also from Dara, and he's got somebody special here that we're going to let you introduce.
Thank you.
Okay.
As Carol said, I want to say a couple things about Carol. She is a former Amateur of the Year winner here, which is a very, very difficult thing to get. You know, we consider that the Academy Awards of Amateur Radio. So I congratulate her. I'm very humbled about it. I've had the opportunity to travel in different, more exotic countries in the world, chasing DX. And actually meeting people. And one of the places that I really enjoyed going to was India. How many of you have been to India? And so you know some of the challenges that they have there in infrastructure and things. But I met Mr. Suri here, and Mr. Suri is also a former Amateur of the Year. He founded the National Institute of Amateur Radio in India. And I'm going to... I'm going to be very brief, but I do want to say that it takes 1 year to get a license in India. 1 year. And he had me meet with a lot of government officials to explain the power of amateur radio. And just quickly, he's going to introduce Tom, who's a very phenomenal amateur radio operator in India, just phenomenal. And he's been licensed at 6.5 years. But Tom's father just got back from Nepal as one of the amateur radio operators. It was a team of 5 that went from the National Institute of Amateur Radio. We're on the ground in Nepal. We have some great stories of how we got information to them into Nepal to help people that were there. Anyway, I'd like for...
grab that mic on the podium when you do that. The one that's laying down, Mike. There you go. Oh, we can hear you now.
You can hear me now? Okay. This is going to make a difference to me. Anyway, I'd like for Mr. Suri to introduce this phenomenal young man. And I also want to say, all of you, all the presentations I've seen, the young gals that were there, the young guys saw, just awesome. I mean, I'm so excited. And we in Dayton Amateur Radio Association, I know speaking from my good friend Jim, who's been also a former Hamvention General Chairman and also a former president of our club and currently on our board. He's thrilled with it too. Anyway, I want to have Mr. Suri quickly introduce Tom, and a real honor, Carol. Thank you.
Absolutely.
And you just do phenomenal work. So this is Mr. Suri.
Thank you, Mike. Also thank you, Carol, for giving us this wonderful opportunity. I request Tom to come here in the dais. He's a young man who got it. He's a ham license at the age of 12. And it's continuing till now, it's 17 years. He has worked for a major cyclone in India, recent one, last October. A major city, Visakhapatnam, was blown off because of the heavy cyclone. And he was the central control operator at the police headquarters. The police, the #1 man requested us, saying that we have lost all the communications because they lost all the repeaters. They could not pay with it. So we made this young man to sit in the control room with the chief. And we seniors, many of them went out to the different police stations and gave them the HF links. And he will explain all that in his presentations. But I only want to say, And this boy has given us a lot of encouragement by way of getting us a lot of publicity from the media, also from the appreciation of the government. Thanks to Michael and the group, they are Nara. They encourage us so much, and every time they are encouraging us, so we are very happy about it. To be brief, I want to also tell you, there's another young boy here, Dhruv, please come here. He's an Indian boy, but born to American living people. He's also become a hand by seeing such people. He's now trying to catch up with him. I hope Dhruv also will do a good job.
What are their ages? Tell them.
Okay, that's good. So the both of them will be there. The main role he will play with, and he will do the secondary role, because Hulu Cyclone he will present. I hope I have talked enough. And
Is he the youngest?
he is the youngest ham in USA. What age you got it? Do tell me.
I'm the youngest ham.
What age you got it?
From the Indian origin.
How old are you?
Right now I'm 11. I got it when I was
9 years old when you got it.
And he also mentioned in one of the award books, that is a Limca Awards book. He is a achiever in that, and his publicity was there on
And
that.
how old is Tom?
Tom is getting a lot of other publicity. He will show time is permitted.
How old is he?
Oh, 17. Now what is that?
Right now I'm 17. I got my license when I was 12 years old.
12 years old.
And he always sits before the radio, HF radio. And we in fact drive out of the radio so that he will not disturb his studies and all. That's great. Anyway, thank you, Michael. And it is Dara, which has encouraged us for the last 7 years, not 1 or 2 years. And is a product of also Dara, I would say. Thank you very much.
Give that to Carol.
Thank you. Okay, so that you don't have to sit down and then get back up again, I am going to present you with the Young Ham Lends a Hand contest, and you are the winner of it. If you want to see extraordinary work that a young person does in amateur radio, go to QRZ. This is VU, Victor Uniform, 3, Tango Mike Oscar. Your hand will get tired scrolling down the accomplishments of this young man. And he traveled 38 hours to, and the last leg of his journey was out of Newark Airport. And he was sitting next to someone who sent his business card up to where I was sitting on the flight and said, the young person sitting next to me traveled 38 hours to be at your youth forum. Wait when the plane lands so you can meet him. And that's how we met. So I want to present you with, and this is sponsored this year by QCWA and the Delaware Lehigh Valley Club. That's for you. And my friend Evan Rolick is the one who began this contest with me years ago. It's $100 for you to go out and have a good time at Hamvention. We're very proud of you. Okay, next we have Sam Case, KG7HBY, 11 years old, speaking about the Friday night QSO party. And while he's getting up there, let me remind you, get those tickets in up front. That drawing will be for all the prizes, as well as 24 years of age or younger to be invited to the astronaut luncheon, which will be held at the end of this forum. Okay, Sam, the floor is yours.
Carol, lay that mic back up there, please.
So hello everybody, I'm Sam Taste, and I'm going to be doing I'm going to be talking about FNGSOP. So before we get started, here's a little bit about me. My name's Sam Taste, call sign is KG7HBY. I'm 11, and I have my general license, and my favorite operating mode for ham radio is CW. I guess you could say I started operating when I was 2, but That's actually my dad's QSL card. When I was 2, I liked to just mess with the dial and try to find anybody. There's my QSL card, and I'm down there in Sparks, Nevada. So what is FNQSOP? So here's some possible answers, maybe some fun nightly quality soup on pomegranates. Or would you like to have falling noodles questioning super orange police? Or the funny National Quilting Society of Psychologists? So that was a trick question. The real answer is the Friday Night QSO Party. So it's basically just a place to talk about ham radio topics, and here's my work over the last year. So how I got FNQSOP started. I got the idea from the Radio Club of Redmond. What they had going, Washington, what they had going there was a QSO Party roundtable, and you just talked about whatever you want. So I thought that was really great, so I decided to do that with just youth hams and kids and anybody. So I began to promote it by contacting all the youth hams in Nevada. We only had about 10 young hams in Nevada and most of them were in Las Vegas, so I really thought that someone needs to get the young hams talking on the air and earning their licenses. So then I started promoting the QSO Party on QRZ.com, and I just posted there, and I got plenty of replies. And so my first person who replied and the first person I talked to was AC8PI, Justin, and there's a picture of his station right there. And so, and then here's KG8CX, Ed. Why don't you stand up, Ed? And so he promoted my youth QSO Party the best, and so then he had the CandyNet and the YachtNet running, and that was on Echolink, so I decided to switch over to Echolink because you only had to be a technician to operate on Echolink, and if the band conditions were bad, you could still you could still run it through Echolink. And and he promoted it by putting it in his newsletters and talking about it on the YachtNet. So then here's KG7POU, Gino, and he's my newest contact. That was at the Nevada Ham Radio Convention, and they had a lot of great things there. And he has this really huge website. It's kind of like a YouTube for ham radio. It's called amateurradioclub.net. And he put it on there, and I'm hoping that will help me promote it quite a bit. And then also, that's one of the kids from Las Vegas, KG7MDB, Marty. So what I think is the best kind of promotion is being in the ham radio community, like helping other kids earning their license and introducing them to ham radio. So that was at an Aries event where where there was a lot of Boy Scouts there, so I introduced them to ham radio, and I got a few of them interested. And then there's in my Boy Scout troop, that's Tanner and I just went to him recently at the Nevada Ham Radio Convention, and he and his dad right now are working on their licenses. So then that was me at Nevada Day, our state holiday, and that's me and Blake, the one in the yellow shirt. That's Blake, and that's inside the Aries truck. So I let him operate and showed him how to operate and what ham radio really is. And then that's his brother Liam. I also got him interested in ham radio, and he really likes that too. So his dad's a ham operator, and he's helping them earn their licenses as well. And then another way that I think is pretty good to promote by being in the ham radio community is just to show other people what I've been making, because I like to make a lot of things. And so I showed them how what I've made and how ham radio helped me do it with all the electronics in the ham radio. So another way I be in the community is participate in the local groups such as ham radio breakfasts, swap meets, events, and clubs, and Hamventions like this one. And then sometimes the parents will bring their kids, and that will get them interested as well. And one time when I went to a breakfast for the club, for one of the local clubs here, I met Stash. He brought his parent brought him, and I met him, and he got interested in ham radio right away. So thanks for coming by and stopping by. Friday night QSO parties for me is on 5:30 Pacific Standard Time, so just to your time if you want to hop on. On Fridays at the KA7 ZAU repeater on Echolink. And would anybody like handouts?
Now also, I'd like you to notice the enthusiasm for this floor. Sometimes people get carried away a little bit. If you look at that banner back there, that was set by a good friend of mine from West Virginia, Richard Siff, and he is from K4AMG, also doing tremendous work in schools, getting young people to become licensed. And he pulled the kids' pictures off the website from Hamvention. So those of you who sent me the pictures when I asked you to, you were able to get the pictures up there. And in addition, you won't necessarily see me wear it, but you will see me proudly out of the public eye wearing it. So that's the kind of support we get. I think it's important that you know that. Okay, next we have Jesse Schulen's KB1YNK. Interesting topic, 17 years old, and he will be speaking to us about pneumatic mass systems for the radio amateur. Okay, Jesse?
Great, well thank you guys very much and good morning. Louder. Okay. Let's see, so today I'm going to be talking about pneumatic mass systems and how I've used that in my setup and how many of you can use it and how it's often overlooked. So here we can first off, what does it even mean? What does the word pneumatic mean? Which is what many of you might be asking. So if we look at the prefix of the word, it's going to mean new or pneumo, which is derived from the Greek word for air or wind. And then the second part of the word is matic, which is derived from the Greek word for willing or performing. So together with both of those, you have pneumatic, and pretty much anything that's pneumatic is a device that uses the air or the wind to perform a task. So let's get into it. Before we actually talk about how I use it in radio, where do we see this in everyday life? So you see this on air brakes, on trucks, trains, buses, big vehicles, jackhammers, nail guns, pipe organs, vacuum pumps, everything all the way down to dental drills uses pneumatic systems, surprisingly. And of course, why we're here today is because it's used in radio very often. So first, something familiar to kind of tie it to, you can see here two pictures of applications of pneumatic mast in the real world. On the left, you can see what you're probably more familiar with, which is a TV remote broadcast truck, which broadcasts information from the field back to the studio to get information quickly, and that way they can just boost the antenna straight up in the air. And then in the second picture on the right, what you see is just a normal truck that you can put a pneumatic mast on to lift anything up in the air. So as you can see, it might be kind of confusing at this point. All it is basically is I like to think of it as kind of like a Russian doll kind of design. So all it is it's a device where you pump air into it, and it has one layer after another, and it fills up one by one to get to the total height of the mast. So instead of using like a crank-up tower or a conventional tower, with these types of systems, all it is you need an air compressor, you fill it with air, and it'll go up to the maximum height, whatever that is on the type of mast that you have. So how can hams use this? Rapid response for services like ARES, RACES, all those types of things, hams can use that to bring a antenna to a site, raise it up to a good height, a reasonable height, and then utilize it like they would instead of having a crank up or anything like that. It's a reasonably inexpensive way to set up a small tower if you execute it correctly. It's also perfect for stations that need to remotely retract a tower due to a weather emergency. Field day is another great one, and portable ops, like we kind of went over a second ago before. So what are some advantages of pneumatic masts? So they retract for easy maintenance to the antenna. If you have any problems with the antenna, you can just flick a switch, it'll come straight down, and you can do whatever you need to do to tune it or anything like that. It retracts in adverse weather, as we kind of talked about before. You know, if there's very bad weather, you can't even go outside. You can just, from inside your ham shack, bring it straight down to ground level. It generally requires no town zoning approval, and that's because it's not necessarily a permanent fixture depending on how you set it up. So it's a lot easier to do that instead of a permanent antenna, a permanent tower. It generally requires no guy wires on them as well, even though those can be installed. And it also accepts an antenna rotor in most situations. So some disadvantages. So they can be more expensive to purchase. So this is something kind of interesting, because if you look at these online, you want to buy a pneumatic mast, you're going to look on, possibly, different websites, and you're going to see that they're very expensive if you want to get them new. So what I would recommend, and what I did at my setup, is I purchased a used one. And those are generally very well kept. You're going to want to check the seals and everything like that, but they can be much, much less expensive. It requires electricity to run the compressor. It cannot support as much weight as a normal tower can, so you need a lighter antenna like a hex beam or a butterfly or anything like that. It also cannot withstand wind as well as a tower. So I can just see here, you can just show a few pictures here of what my setup is like. If you look here in the upper left, that's just my shack and an overview of it. Down below we have the switches for antenna up, which controls a compressor at the bottom of the mast, and the down switch, which turns on a solenoid valve at the bottom of the mast to release the air or let it down. And that uses relays at the base, which I'll go over in a little bit. Then on the right, that's actually a picture in construction when we were first building it. And what it is all there is just a little metal box we have at the bottom, which contains the compressor and all the relays and everything you need to drive it up and down. And then you can see a picture of the fully extended tower, which is around 40 feet. And then, let's see, I'll go on the next one. Here's what we have to mount the actual mast. So we have a gravity mount right there at the bottom, and all that really is we have it's a tripod at the bottom with cinder blocks on top of it, and that actually used to be used on a satellite mount on the top of a building in Boston, and we reused that, and the mast slides right into it, bolts on, and then we have the cinder blocks right on top of it, so we didn't actually even penetrate the ground to do this. And something very interesting too is this is probably about 350 feet in back of my house on top of a hill, so I can't even see it from my house, and we have wires running straight out to the base of the mast. Fully extended, so the fully extended height of the mast is going to be 36 feet. It has a rotor at the top, and as you can see, we have free hanging cable that's wrapped right up in plastic, so it won't get tangled. It just, when we bring it down, it'll fall right down without any trouble. And we also have a butternut butterfly HF5B antenna right at the top, and that is very light, and it doesn't give us a lot of air resistance, so it's nice to it's nice for that, so there's not a lot of wind loading. So another thing we have that's important is we do have surveillance around the base of the mast. We do have various cameras, and the reason we have that is because it's kind of way back, and we're not worried about crime, but we're more worried about keeping an eye on it because, for example, this winter we had a rough winter and we couldn't actually access it. So we have those cameras. We can look on our phones and computers to just make sure everything looks okay and make sure it's actually in the position that we wanted it to be in. Mast control. So I talked a little bit more about that before, but what I do use, I use a relay at the base of the mast to control power to the compressor. The compressor automatically shuts off at 5 psi, so it'll level it at 5 psi. If it gets below that, it'll keep going to pump it up. And I use a relay at the base of the mast to open a solenoid valve to let the air out in order to retract the mast for maintenance or weather. And I have 12 volts inside my house that goes through rotor cable, straight to the base of it, and that can actuate and turn on and off both of the relays. So just some conclusions here. This mast project was an inexpensive and fun alternative to constructing a more conventional type of tower. The mast survives winters and wind fairly well, and is easily hidden on a hill in the woods if you want to keep it away from your neighbors or if you have an HOA or anything like that. It also gives me excellent performance and all the height I need for normal ham operations, and I've also confirmed over 100 countries using that as well, so it's really helped me quite a bit. So I'd also like to give a special thanks here at the end to Carol Perry, of course, and then some Elmers and mentors I've had throughout the years as well. So thank you.
At this point, I must make the comment, I think the future of amateur radio is quite secure if we're seeing indicators that we are here today. I just think it's fair. I never fail to be awestruck by the presentations that we see here, and it puts a smile as it should on yours, right on all ham hearts. The kids are absolutely terrific. Now, somebody who certainly can do a lot in helping to show appreciation, take note on this one. I'm going to introduce the man with all the money. This is this is Dave, who is in charge of FAR scholarships. Dave?
Thank you, Carol. Foundation for Amateur Radio Scholarship Committee awards scholarships to amateur radio operators. This year, we are giving out 63 scholarships worth $135,000 in aggregate. Who can get a scholarship? Somebody who's headed into college, in college, no age requirement. We've got people in their 50s and 60s who are applying, but we've also got a lot of young people. You can be pursuing an associate degree, a bachelor's, a graduate degree. You can be a part-time student. A lot of folks have to work full-time and want to go to school at the same time. You've seen in the papers about the amount of debt load that college students are carrying when they come out. This is a good way to minimize that. So we accept full-time students, part-time students, even students taking online courses. Almost every university in the country offers courses online. In all cases, you have to be attending an accredited school and pursuing a degree. Those are the requirements. So I have two messages for you, very simple. You all have contact with young hams, or you are young hams. We need applications from young hams. Tom here, who was introduced, has an application into it. It is not a requirement for several of the scholarships that you be a U.S. resident. We need applications. We need give out typically is $5,000 or $6,000 to the top scoring student. We're not paying anyone's tuition, but we're going to help them with books, with other college expenses. We will combine scholarships to ensure that the highest ranking students get an appropriate amount of money. By the way, when I talk about sponsors, you see the QCWA listed here. This year they are funding 36 scholarships worth $75,000. Belongs to the Radio Club of America. They sponsor scholarships with us. It can be private organizations, can be companies, can be schools, can be clubs. Whatever you are, if you have some money and you want to contribute to a scholarship, we would love to have And please, if you have contact with young hams going into college or in college, make sure that they know about us and they get their applications in. If you want to contact me, I'll give you a very simple email address. My call, Whiskey 8 Alpha Juliet Romeo, W8AJR. We had some clever phonetics from one of our earlier speakers, so how about who ate a jelly roll? And look at me, you know who. W8AJR at ARRL.net will get to me. I will get back to you. Come and see me after the forum, and I'll give you further contact information. And I thank you very much for letting me speak to you.
Okay, another way that you might be inclined, if you know a really bright, talented youngster, as we see here, to get them into an award mode would be till May 30th, you can nominate somebody for the Young Ham of the Year Award. Go online, look for Bill Pasternak, or go on Young Ham of the Year, and you can nominate someone, and it is determined by their contribution to amateur radio. And I wanted to add, when I gave Tom the Young Ham Lends a Hand award, that's to show support for one of the basic tenets we have of amateur radio, which is get out into the community and do good things there as well, which Tom is certainly a good example of. So you've got a lot of contests going on that you can sponsor these young people and highlight them, because that's all part of the great experience that they get by being here and being allowed to showcase all of their talents. So be sure to, if you know somebody you'd like to recommend, to do so. Now, our reporter, James Lee back there, one of our reporters, we've got Jim and James back there. Maybe one of them should turn out very well for us. He's got two youngsters who are going to give you the next presentation here. Faith Hannah Lee, WA4 BBC, and I think we've got a new call to tell us about today. This young lady, age 10, well, you tell them what you just did and what you've just done.
I applied for a vanity call that only an extra can get, which is AE4FH. It stands for Amateur Extra for Faith Hannah, and it came in earlier in the middle of the night today.
So we've got Faith Hannah Lee and her brother, Zechariah Lee, WX4TVJ. He's 12 years old, she's 10, and I've had the pleasure of meeting the rest of the younger siblings who have already asked for an interview to be here for this.
If you need, you can stand on this.
So, okay, floor is yours.
So, let me tell you a little bit about us. I'm Zechariah, WX4TVJ.
And I'm Faith Hannah, AE4FH. I have my extra class license.
And I have my general. So, we pretty much our whole family are hams, and we've had our license since February. And our sister Grace is studying for her license.
Grace, stand up so everybody can see you.
In our area, which is Chesapeake, Virginia, there's a ham radio club called the K4AMG Memorial Amateur Radio Club, and they mentor kids in ham radio and communications, and if you pass your test, they give you a free radio, like they did for us. We really love them. However, we can't hit all the repeaters, even with the high-gain rubber ducky antennas they gave us. This is a video to show what the problem was, and when we made these videos, we had different call signs, so you will hear different call signs in the videos.
This is KM4IVW, listening 97. Not hitting over.
When you try to get into the repeater, you didn't make it, K4KL. You didn't change your location or increase your power.
Maybe we should build an antenna to see if we can hit it.
As you can see, they don't really work well. So that got us thinking about antennas. Our presentation is titled Child-Friendly Antennas for VHF.
There are two kinds of rubber ducky antennas. The stock rubber ducky antennas come with most handhelds, or HTs, and they have 5 dB loss compared to a quarter wave antenna. That means about 1 watt of effective radiated power comes from a 5 watt radio. Effective radiated power equals ERP. That's what we'll call it. Then there's the high gain rubber ducky antenna. As you can see, they're much longer. They have 1 dB loss compared to a quarter wave antenna. They work better, but we can't hit all the repeaters. We can hit only 1 out of a dozen in our area.
The solution was to make our own antennas. We chose 4 different antennas to make. They are listed in the order that we made them: a quarter wave ground plane, a copper J-pole, a slim jim, and a counterpoise. Now, a counterpoise isn't exactly an antenna, but we'll talk more about that when we talk about the counterpoise.
We chose these because they're great for emergency use, they're portable, they're somewhat easy to build, the parts are easy to find, they're cheap to build, and somewhat kid-friendly.
First, let's talk about the quarter wave ground plane. It is one of the simplest VHF antennas there are to build, and we found this project in the ARL Quick Start Guide for all hams. You can usually find some hams in your area that will come over to help you build the antenna, or will let you use some of their parts to build the antenna. It has 0 dB gain. That means if you are putting out 5 watts, your ERP will be 5 watts, and it is somewhat portable.
This is the quarter wave ground plane. So it has 3 wires that are a quarter wavelength long. The top wire is the radiator, and the 2 wires hanging from the sides are the radials. They're all soldered to an SO239 coax connector.
You don't have to read that loud.
I didn't mean to. So.
This is K4KL.
How's my signal?
Good copy from my station. Let me check you on the input. Come on back.
KM4 IBPM testing 1, 2, 3.
Okay, on the input I've got about an S5 on you, over.
As you can see, it worked. Now the copper J-pole. We copied a J-pole that Rich, W4BUE, gave to us. by putting it on, We tested the J-pole by putting it on an 18-foot speaker stand. It worked. The repeater I talked on was about 10 miles away, and the ham I was talking to was also 10 miles away, and he heard me on the input and understood what I was saying. We were starting to have a little problem with the antenna.
So as you can see in the picture, the pipe is corroding where we sweated the pipe. We didn't know what that was all about, but now we know that it's because we forgot to wipe the flux off. We didn't know that was important at the time, but apparently it is.
Now the Slim Jim antenna. When it's rolled up like this, it can fit into a pocket or a backpack. It has 6 dB gain over. Open it up.
So that is a close-up picture of what we did on both ends of the antenna. We soldered the tips of the antenna together. There's a notch cut out for capacitance. That's the notch cut out on the on the second antenna we built. And that's the notch cut out on the first antenna we built. As you can see, it's cut into a hole. So it's kind of floppy. And what we learned with the quarter wave ground plane is the more solid wire flops around, the easier it'll break. And that is the tuning stub, where the coax connects to the ladder line. So when we tuned it, we used alligator clips to hold the wires into place before we soldered it, and we got it resonant. And then we took the alligator clips off and soldered the wires, and it wasn't resonant to the same frequency. And then we put the alligator clips back on, and it was resonant to the same frequency as before. We didn't know what that was all about, but now we know that the alligator clips created a capacitor.
Now the counterpoise. Technically, it's not an antenna, but it does complete the rubber ducky antenna on an HT. It is so small it can fit virtually anywhere. I keep one in my purse.
And I keep one in my wallet.
They're so easy to make, kids can make one all by themselves. We made ours by ourselves. And we found the directions on the internet. And since we're homeschooled, our mom and dad are always looking for a teaching moment. Like this one time when we were at Home Depot, actually to get the stuff to make the counterpoise, there was a net going on, but we couldn't hit the repeater from the middle of the store. We had to go to the front of the store to hit the repeater. If we had the counterpoise with us, we would have been able to hit the repeater from the middle of the store. We know this because we tested it.
So this is an HT with a counterpoise connected to the antenna. So that the picture shows an eye connector right here that connects the counterpoise to the antenna of the handheld. And on the other end of the wire, it's looped so it doesn't poke anybody in the eye. And there's a problem with this antenna, too. We didn't make it out of insulated wire, so it can give you an RF burn. It's not, if any of you have ever not had it, I have not had it, but I hear it's not fun. We figured it out the hard way.
One day we went to a location to do some field testing. We were expecting poor results from both S7, but we couldn't try the quarter wave up in the tree because we broke a radial. And we would fold it up for storage, and it's solid wire, so it can get messed up with the more bends you have. But we are going to test that sometime. These are some pictures of us field testing.
So for emergency use, for fixed station in the field, we both agree that a J-pole would be the best. But for portable use, that kind of depends on if you're in an open field or in a place where there's a lot of trees. But the one antenna that can be used for both of those ideas, the quarter wave that can be Statue of Liberty hold or up in a tree. '73.
We'll see you on the air.
Ed, who was introduced before by one of our speakers, has left handouts. Ed is responsible for the yacht group, which is a fabulous network for kids to get involved. And many of our speakers come from there today. So help yourself to some of his information. If you know kids who are looking to speak with other young people, Ed has done a Herculean job about getting that going. Thank you for that. And Jim, you as well. Thank you. Okay, our last speaker, and this means get those cards in up front to Ralph, because this is the last we're accepting. This is where we're going to, you have one? Okay, Bob, did you get that? Okay, we'll take that from you and bring it up front, because as soon as he is done speaking, the last speaker, we're going to be picking from the audience 8 more young hands to have lunch with the astronaut following this, and then we'll do the rest of the prizes as well. So make sure that you got your tickets in there. I'm going to ask Ray to wave a little bit. I hate to embarrass him, but I really do like it. Ray is the one that I spoke so highly of before from Icom, who has been 800% totally behind everything we did with youth activities. And please, let's go out there and support the manufacturers who are supporting the youth activities here. Thank you, Ray. Okay, last but certainly not least, Cameron Thurston. Come up, please. N8. CAM, 16 years old, and he's going to be speaking about working with N3 Foxtrot Juliet Papa software. Cameron?
Thank you, Carol. Name's Cameron Thurston. Live in a little village of St. Helen up in Roscommon County, Michigan. Barely shows up on the map. We got not about 14 miles south of me. We got the biggest inland lake in Michigan. A little bit about me. Of course, I live in St. Helen, Michigan. Grid Square ZN74TI. As you can see, there's the map of Michigan, and red's my county. I'm 16 years old. I was licensed as a technician, KD8 SUI, July 13th, 2012. Upgraded to general September 26, 2012. Changed my call to NHCAM October 22nd, 2012. Some of my other interests are snowmobiling, woodworking, deer hunting, go-kart racing, computer The Vice President of the CERT team, public safety, small engine, automotive repair, and many more. Now into the good stuff. This software, this is Amateur Contact Log. This is your basic log for logging contacts. A lot of the screenshots come from a fellow ham, Steve, K8BZ. He could not be here today due to other prior plans. This software is like simple. I love this software because all you do is type the call sign in and hit enter. It's that simple. If you got an interface with your radio, it's really simple. Where you want to know where everybody's at? Well, that's easy. Scott provides you with the free downloads for everybody in the United States and Canada. All you do is type the call sign in and it'll populate the name, state, city, and address. And a lot of you new hams might not be on the might not be on there yet. He updates it every 6 months. So June there'll be a new update of it. Working towards awards, yeah, I'm pretty close to DXCC. I've got 93 countries worked and confirmed. I haven't tried counties yet because I'd be there forever. This is a screenshot from Steve, K8BZ's log, and I believe he's got 328 countries worked with 12 remaining, and it tracks all your all the what am I trying to say? All your awards. There we go. LOTW. I use Logbook of the World. Upload about once a month. You can set it up to where every time you hit enter, your log uploads right to the internet. Looking for DX. This is my favorite one because I'll be going through working somebody and it'll pop up at the bottom that you need a new country. Well, you know how many times that pops up? Not very often when you got 93 countries worked. Rig interface. This is the only program that would work with my radio until I built my own programming interface. His software interface is right with the radio, and you can populate your band, mode, frequency, just about everything. Now Morse code. Some people might not know it, some people may. You want to learn Morse code? Well, here you go. Really simple. I just started about 2 weeks ago and I'm working my way up there. Radio Club Secretary. This is probably one of my most favorite pieces because I am the co-secretary, as we call it, of our radio club. I belong to Lance Cruz Club and the Ogama-Ironack Amateur Radio Society. And as Ted, KADO, he's around here somewhere. There he is, in the back there. He's our club secretary, and there's times that he can't make it. Well, somebody's got to do his job, so that's where I fall in. You can tell when their expiration date is of club membership, who they are, of course, and send rosters out real easy. This is another one of my favorites, net control. I run our net quite often, haven't lately, but type the call sign in, hit enter, and away you go, log in your net. A lot of clubs require you to submit a net report. Well, this is easy. You just go to hit file, save as, and that's it. New ham looking to upgrade. This is one of the programs I used to upgrade for my general. Say you study from the book for, I don't know, a week. Then you can go on here, take the tests, and the ones that you missed or the areas that you are not doing so hot in, it will, you can go over those. It'll automatically populate those questions and focus more on that. State QSO parties. About 2 weeks ago, I think it was, we worked the Michigan State QSO party. Tell you what, if I would have had a better antenna, if I would have fixed my antenna before the QSO party, I think I would have done a lot better in the 4 hours that I worked. On the left there is starting off. That was all the counties. That was really cool because this is my first time using it for the QSO party, and it was super simple. In school, my math class, one of the formulas they tell us to use is the KISS formula. Keep it super simple. I tell you what, this goes just like that. Field day. Last year was my first year working with the Lance Cruise Club's field day, and I tell you what, I don't know if Matt's in here. Yep, there he is. KD8 LLT, him and his father set up the field day network. And now, the year before that, I worked with a club that we used pencil and paper. So this allows you to work any band you want. Up on the left there, the green columns, if somebody's on that band, it'll populate red and say, nope, you're not going there. Go somewhere else. Emergency communications. 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, was our first activation. We got activated for a fire up just actually, 2 miles behind my house. So, big wildfire. And I think if Chris would have known about this software, WHCOP, I think he would have used this to keep track of where everybody was at. Now, yesterday we got poured on out there for, I don't know, half hour or so. Well, I didn't have my computer and I couldn't predict the weather forecast, but you watch TV and they said there wasn't going to be no rain, but they were wrong. Here you can predict your own weather your weather predictions. Weather alerts from something that come out a half hour ago to now. And here's a severe weather warning. It's a separate piece. First notified, second NOAA Weather puts it on their website. It is on your computer waking you up. I made the mistake one time of leaving that going, and needless to say, my computer was unplugged and my speakers were out the door the next morning because Dad wasn't too happy that he got woke up. Now we all want to know how much it is. Software. He's got 30 plus pieces of software. I mean, more than 30. There's can't count on everybody's hands and toes in here how many pieces. Contest logs start from $6.99 to $10. If you start $7 times 30, that's $210. So you're saving quite a bit there. Amateur contact log. The log alone is just basic ones, $25. And there's free lifetime fees. Upgrades. Any questions?
Do you see you have a site I can access for all of them?
Yeah, it's n3fjp.com.
Very good, thank you.
And special thanks go out to Carol, Scott Davis, Steve, and Ted Back. I wouldn't be down here if it wasn't for Ted. Again, thanks everybody. Thank you.
Okay, now, I'm under strict orders that at this point, we must pick the 8 youngsters so that when Mike Fink, the astronaut, does come in here, the children will all have been selected already, and then I'm going to let Tom come in and say a few words as well. But we must pick the 8 young people now. Now, once again, it's age 24 and below. Usually this forum, I require, my demographic is 18 years and younger. But the league is sponsoring this, and that's what they want to leave it open to. So if you're 24 years or younger.
And a licensed youth.
Yes, I was about to say that. And if you are licensed, that's why we have you filling out those tickets, then you are eligible to join these 8 young, very, very worthy participants at the luncheon as well. Let's have a big round of applause. wanted to participate. I think it's a good sign. It's a good sign. Okay, Ralph, are we ready over there? Okay, you know what, Tom? You traveled the longest distance of anybody to get here. Let's let Tom start picking.
Pardon?
We're going to let Tom start picking.
Okay.
Okay, Tom, go over where Ralph is.
This is for, now what are we drawing? For the youth practice? No.
This is for lunch with the astronaut.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay, pick out 8 and then bring them over here to the microphone. This has to be the experience of a lifetime for the kids. And I met him yesterday. He's personable and great and all the things you would expect the astronaut would be. He's looking forward to the luncheon as well. Okay, Ralph, what we got? Checking that it's all licensed people that Tom picked. That was what Deborah from the league wanted this to be. Licensed young amateurs. Okay, we have 8. And the first one, no nepotism here. Chris Blackwood, KD2CXC. The reason I say that, Chris and I are good friends. Chris presented here how many years ago? 2?
Yeah, I think it was.
2 years ago. He was part of the team that did that robotic device that climbs up the pole. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well.
Okay, you're doing very well today. You're going to have lunch with the astronaut. You have any other plans? No, cancel them.
Let
Okay.
me put this on you real quick.
Okay. So when they come to escort you to the luncheon, you go.
All right.
Okay. Ralph, the next one. Jordan Sermons, KK4, it looks like a 4 or a 9, TSF. And keep these for me, okay, so I'll have the names. Okay, congratulations, Jordan. You have any lunch plans?
No.
Yes, you do. Okay. So when we call for the kids to come up to go to with the astronaut, you go. Congratulations. Okay.
What's the shirt say?
Oh, kiss me on the radio. Okay, Madison Schweitzer, KB3URT. Yay! How would you like to have lunch with an astronaut?
I would love it.
Great. She said she would love it. That's great. Okay. And next we have Marcus Precut, KC3FAI. Marcus? Congratulations to you. You have an interesting lunch planned.
I do.
Okay. Have a seat. Okay. Next we have Rachel Board, KK4ZPC. So happy to see the females well represented here. Rachel, did she step out or going once? Oh, that's too bad. That's like winning the lottery and not being there to get it. Okay, we'll have to pick another one if she doesn't come by the end of this. Tom, you. This is so outstanding, more than you can know. We tried and tried to get Tom as a special guest to be invited to the luncheon, but the rules were the rules, and he got it anyway. Good for you. Oh, that's great. That's great. Okay, love it. Brandon Geek, G-I-E-K, K0, KD9, DQV. Doing anything special for lunch?
I guess I'm eating with an astronaut.
What are you going to be doing for lunch?
Eating with an astronaut.
All right, good for you. Okay, and Daniel Onan, KD8, NSV. Weren't you a presenter at one point?
Yeah,
at the Youth Forum?
2 years ago.
Okay,
2 or 3.
again, all roads lead back to the Youth Forum. He's here with a group that has done all the recording for us through the years. And I'm happy to see that you are going to be one of the lucky people to have lunch with the astronaut. Okay, so when we ask for the kids to come, that will be you. Okay, thank you.
No, what? 8.
We'll keep that. So we have 7 or 8.
Well, I'm missing one ticket. Did you have to put one in your pocket?
Nope.
Well.
Okay, so do we have 8 now?
Well, we've got.
Except for the girl who wasn't here?
Pardon?
Yeah, that's okay. We have 8 though. No. We're missing one. So go pick one more. A lot of excitement for this luncheon. Okay, we have Austin Reif, K8KXN. Okay. Were you ever a young presenter?
No, I wasn't.
Okay, but he's also, not nepotism in any way, but he was also part of the group that for many, many years has come here and done the recording for the Youth Forum so that teachers and instructors across the country can get the disc of what we're doing here and use it as role models for young people that they are working with. So I thank you for being part of that group.
Oh, no problem.
Okay, and we'll see you for lunch. Okay, there's just one more person I thought you would like to meet. If there's anybody here named Mike Fink, could he please come forward? Oh, here he comes now.
These tickets are going back in the box. So nice to see you again.
Oh, yes, what a pleasure. 30 years of teaching amateur radio to 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. The most exciting things we ever did were, photo opportunities, were to put the young people in touch with the true pioneers and the true role models that are in our society today. And it is with great pleasure and an honor to introduce to you Mike Fink.
Thank you. Thank you. Can you guys hear me?
Pass him the wireless.
All right. So thanks, Carol, and we're. I thought I'd take about 3 or 4 minutes to share a little, just a few words. I won't be boring. You don't have to roll your eyes or anything, you know. But it's really a privilege to be here.
Can I mic you up?
Yes. Mic up, Mike.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Okay, where do you prefer this?
Yeah, we got a little spot right there. We can clip it on.
Perfect. Thank
Here you
you,
go. Hey, can you hear me now? All right, now I can be a little bit more mobile. Would you be so kind?
Surely.
Thank you. So I'm representing the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, NASA, your country's space program, and one of the, okay, fine, it's the world's leader in flying in space. But I'm also here to say that I was a kid once too. I grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It's not too far from here, considering the rest of the planet. And I really wanted to be an astronaut. And NASA is a good place for me to be, because NASA is all about taking a dream, an idea, something that you kind of say, well, what if? And we make it into reality. We had ideas about going to the moon, and we went to the moon. We had an idea about to make a space shuttle, and heck, it was hard, but we built it. And that's what I really like being part of NASA. That's what I really like about being an engineer. That's what I really like about our collaboration with amateur radio, because it's all about making things and building things and seeing the results from it. And if you can have a contact and you talk to somebody across the ocean, that's a pretty cool feeling. Or if you're in orbit around the space station and you pick up the radio and you're talking to somebody from here in Ohio, hey, that's pretty cool. I mean, it's really exciting. So I'm here to share some of that with you. Is that especially for the youth, right? Is that if it can happen to me, it can happen to you guys. It really can. I mean, I was just a regular kid. 8 younger brothers and sisters. We didn't have a lot of money, but we certainly had a dream. Everyone in my family, and my dream was to go fly in space, and it happened. But my dream wasn't the same place as I thought. So my dream, I thought I was going to go fly on the space shuttle. Because in 1981, it had its first launch, and I think I was in middle school at the time. I said, oh yeah, now a space shuttle is, pretty soon there'll be a spot for me. Well, eventually there was. But along the way, I ended up flying with the Russians a couple times. Now, that was not part of the plan. That was not something in 1980s that you thought about doing, going fly with the Russians. Yeah, it's like, because they were part of the Soviet Union, they were the Cold War, they were kind of the bad guys. And but that's a great lesson, because the world keeps changing, and people who were your enemies can be your friends, and we can all work together. And that's what I like about the International Space Station. That is, I think, one of the fundamentals of amateur radio, is people from all across this planet working together. And we worked together to build the International Space Station. And it turns out in college I studied Russian language. And so when the NASA interview came to be an astronaut, and I was competing against 8,000 other people, they asked me if I could speak Russian. I said yes, I could. And they put a big check mark next to my name, and then I got to go fly. I flew twice with the Russians before I got to go fly on that space shuttle. But that's what do they say? Luck favors the prepared. They say that the more that you know, the more opportunity you have to realize your dreams, and to be flexible, because you never know, how it's going to come across. It's like, oh, I thought I was going to go fly in the space shuttle, but I had opportunity to do something else. And that's just a kind of a message for the future, because the world keeps changing. So, but do your best. Learn all the stuff you can learn. That's what this is really nice about amateur radio community. There are people that know what they're doing, and they're willing to take their time and to make your lives better by teaching you new stuff. And the more new stuff you know, the cooler things that you can go do. So that's all I have to say. I'm really glad to meet you all. I'm really glad to be here in Dayton. This Hamvention is just really cool and amazing. And I'm looking forward to spending some time with some of you at lunchtime. And if not, we're having a presentation. What time is it, Bob?
1:15, I think.
Yeah, it's 11:15 now. So in 2 hours, at 2.5 hours, at 1:45. In room 5, I'll be sharing what it's like with some video, what it's like to fly in space, what it's like to sit on a rocket, how to eat M&Ms in space, all these fun things. Oh yeah, you take some 40-year-old guys and you throw out some M&Ms, they just float around, and they chase after them like little Pac-Men. It's really fun. Come to the presentation if you can't see you at lunch. And again, be good, study hard, and have big dreams. Thank you very much.
Before we let him go, this love audience, which is what they are when they come to the Youth Forum, has just witnessed 8 of the best and the brightest of our young hams. And because you weren't available to be here to witness that, we're going to make sure you get the disc of the recording.
Oh, excellent, excellent.
And you'll get to meet them during lunch, so you'll see why they were so special. And one of the groups that we have that's a co-sponsor has something for you as well. And I also want to thank Bob Indervitson from the American Radio Relay League and Deborah Johnson for partnering us for this extraordinary experience that the kids will have. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Mike, the Lance Cruise Amateur Radio Club has been a co-sponsor
for
the Youth Forum for quite a while, and we don't often have real celebrities, real heroes amongst us. But we'd like you to have this certificate of appreciation, and it also has some stamps, postage stamps that are, I think, a few years older than you.
Wow, that is really cool. Thank you so much. Let's hold it like this and take a cool picture. Oh, this is really cool. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you for taking the time to stop by here, and we will have 8 and then 8 more. Getting here, but your reward is you're having lunch with Mike today, okay? We arranged with the fates for that to happen. But in addition, I'm going to give you 5 minutes, okay? So consolidate, please. It would have been much longer if we knew this in advance that you were coming, okay? But this is a spectacular young man, and he wants to say a few words, okay? He's the one who should get that.
Excellent, thank you, sir. I'm gonna put this on your collar. You can put it just right above, like right about here would be great. And you can put this in your pocket or on your belt, whichever is more comfortable for you.
Can I have presentation?
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll send it to you. You want a presentation on the screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll focus on the screen too.
I have pen drive. Okay. Hello.
There we go. Okay, there we go. Should come up here and should be all set. Bill Gates moment.
Good morning to all. My name is Tom and my call sign is Victor Uniform 2 Tango Oscar. I'm the member of National Institute of Amateur Radio. I grew up watching ham radio because of my parents, as they work in an organization named National Institute of Amateur Radio. I got my license when I was 12 years old, and I was happy to get my license after waiting for 1 year in December 2011. And finally, I was upgraded to higher grade license this month with my new call sign, Victor Uniform 2 Tango Oscar. And my first two-way communication by amateur radio was with my brother, and his call sign is Victor Uniform 3 Tango November India. Five months, even after being busy with my school life, and I've made and participated in many contests. As you can see, the 2 CQ contests from USA, the Holy Land contest from Israel, Workdoll from Germany, All Asia DX contest from Italy, ARI from, and to operate the 12 station in Europe, the Euro Award, and many more, and also from India. As you can see, the bottom left award, one of the 7 wonders of the world, the Taj Mahal, which is located in Agra, India. Ham radio, as you can see, the local newspapers to national newspapers. And before the major cyclone that hit the beautiful city of Visakhapatnam, you can see how beautiful the beaches are and the best tourism place to visit. Cyclone Hudud heading towards the India coast in October 2014. Cyclone warning was given 4 days before, heading from Andaman and Nicobar Island. Finally, 3 hours before, notice was given that the cyclone is going to hit the India coast, that is Visakhapatnam. And the police department took every single step initially before the cyclone. Unfortunately, they have lost all the repeater station due to high radiation of wind of approximately 205 kilometers per hour. The chief of police sent a fax message to National Institute of Amateur Radio, which is almost 2,000 kilometers, declaring that they have lost all the communications. Before the fax message itself, we started preparing ourselves for Hudud cyclone at NIR. As you can see, packing antennas, radios and many more. As you can see, 2 days before cyclone, how people are enjoying. Everything was normal. Crowd having fun, everyone's life as usual. During cyclone, as you can see how effective the cyclone was, the car is being blown away and almost all the buildings were flooded. The government of Andhra Pradesh was instructed before the cyclone by turning off the electricity, and as I've told you, a lot of destructions happened. Almost all the trees, poles and cars were being blown away and collapsed. After the fax message, we started preparing ourselves for Hudud cyclone. As you can see, Mr. Suri, the founder of National Institute of Amateur Radio, with his Cos and Victor uniform 2 Mike Yankee, we installed one HF and VHF mobile in the car itself. Friends, after going there, we have installed 3 inverted V antennas in 3 different places. First, right in the city, in the police control room, and 2 inverted V antennas in 2 different places. I myself operating in the police control room in Visakhapatnam during Hudud cyclone. I played an important role in sending messages, receiving. When I tell about message, I think of one important message which was very important. As I've told you, lot of distractions happen. A tree had fallen down above the temple, which can fall at any time. The temple authority went to many places and there was no response, and finally they have gone to Mr. Suri, Victor informed to Mike Yankee, and they have to contact me because I'm there in police control room. I have to pass this message to police so that they can take action. So unfortunately there's only 20 kilometers difference and we were not able to copy. I don't know why. Then finally from Delhi, Victor uniform to Radio Bravo India copied that message, which is almost 2 states after, and it came to me. The police were totally shocked about this, that the message went to Delhi and from there to place. And one of our National Institute of volunteers in remote areas, and there was supply of food and visit by leaders. As ham radio played an important role during Hudud cyclone, they have appreciated us with appreciating a letter from Government of Andhra Pradesh Revenue Department, the Government of Andhra Pradesh, the Police Department, and also from the Commissioner of Police, Srikakulam. One of the famous film star, Mr. Nagarjuna, interviewed about the ham radio activity during Hudud cyclone in a relief program called Memu Saitam, conducted by the Tollywood actors in with a slogan, "We are with you." As I've told you, ham radio has played an important role during Hudud cyclone. These are the publicity, which press cuttings and activities during Hudud cyclone. And after the request from National Disaster Communication, and IAR have sent 5 people to Nepal. They have assisted the local hams technically. As you can see, Mr. Ram Mohan, Executive Director of National Institute of Amateur Radio, and my dad, Jose, with his call sign Victor Uniform 2 Tango Juliet Oscar Sierra. And I thank all of you for supporting me. I especially thank Mr. Suri for sponsoring me. If I'm here, it's only because of him. Thank you so much, Mr. Suri, for sponsoring me, and also organizer Ms. Perry and Mr. Michael and Dave, and thanks to all for supporting me. Thank you so much.
Okay, now I would like all the presenters to come up. Now we give out lots of rewards and awards and prizes and all kinds of good stuff for all the good things you did here at the store. Okay, just line up. And we're going to do the things for the kids first, and then the that nice Icom 100. Somebody in my love audience. And we have a lot of adult prizes. MFJ is here as well. Again?
Sorry, thank you. I appreciate it, Carol.
Appreciate what you're doing.
No, it's fine.
Okay. First of all, why don't you kids line up? If anybody wants to take a group picture and gets a real good one, make sure you send it to me so it can be in all the publications. Kids, just line up all together. And I'm going to ask my my RCA people come here and help me give out some of the RCA things first.
2 minutes time for my kid just say about Dayton Hamvention. That's what he said. Sit
We
down.
really don't, but if you do it in 1 minute.
Okay, 2 minutes maybe. No
We're just so pressed for time.
Okay.
We'll see if at the end there's a minute or two, okay? This should really be a 4-hour forum, obviously. Okay, now, RCA people. Okay, these are all going to be in alphabetical order. I'm going to ask them to call the name. RCA is one of the sponsors, obviously. I'm on the board of directors of RCA and head of the youth activities. And to show our appreciation as a reward to the young presenters, first thing we give them, Steve, would you hold that up, please? That's the RCA 2015 Young Achiever Award that they get for their participation here. It looks mighty good on a college application to say that they have that. So while they're getting that, in addition to be practical, they're also each getting a $100 stipend from youth activities this year, thanks to Charles Kermis, to go out and spend and have a good time here after their good time with the luncheon. We have a couple of good times lined up for you. Okay, and I also want to thank my helpers, Steve, Charles, and Stan. Without help, this doesn't happen here. And you can see they're wearing their Carol's Monitor ribbons so that we can point the kids to where we need them to be. We also have our lovely Mary doing the photographic work for us here as well. So a lot of good stuff comes and a lot of busy bees helping us out here. Okay, Sam Case.
Sam, come on up.
And why don't you give the check?
Done. There you go. Okay.
Okay, Tyler Hammond.
There's the check.
Don't forget the check.
There we go.
Sam.
Tyler. There you go. Take camera. There you go. Congratulations. There you go.
Our delightful Faith Hannah Lee. Okay, just go down. Zechariah Lee.
Congratulations. Awesome.
There we go. And here's your
Great
check.
presentation, kids.
Congratulations.
Jesse Schulens.
Over here. Come here. Don't want your money? You don't want your money?
Wait. This
Oh,
is
yes,
no.
you
This
got
is
it.
Jesse.
Oh,
He's
you-
already got that.
Hi.
Okay, once doubled.
No, it's not double. It was the way I gave one. Okay, Cameron Thurston. Now just continue walking this way. And our delightful sisters, the Wilson girls, Kendra and Abigail. Abigail.
Congratulations.
And
you.
Kendra.
Congratulations. And Kendra.
And just keep walking this way. Oh, you're giving it out already?
There you go. Congratulations.
Congratulations to you. Okay, now I see they've already begun. It's going to look like Christmas here soon. They've got their Icom 51As, and they come in assorted colors, just so you know. And they were nice enough to get in touch with me and say, find out from the kids what color of the following choices. I don't give choices for colors at that point. So they're random. They're going to get an assortment of colors. They're really great little radios. And MFJ, as usual, supplying with the antennas. Richard, raise your hand. Go see Richard at the MFJ booth and thank him for what MFJ has done. Okay, and where's Stan? Stan, you want to help give these out? Let me show this to the audience. Look what Icom has done. How neat is this? Each of the presenters gets a bag with their name and call letters, and then I make sure they put the RCA logo patch on it as well. But what a beautiful gift to give. And inside are even more goodies that were donated for each presenter to have. So. Well, that's what you want to see, young hams with their hands laden with gifts. Okay, Sam. Where's Sam? We need a U-Haul truck. You know what, Larry, let me introduce Larry. Larry is from QC, Vice President, correct?
Yes.
Vice President of QCWA, who is now a sponsor of our youth forum as well. Would you help give out the bags?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. Sam, Case, Stan, and Larry, you give out those bags.
Where's Kendra?
There we go. And let's see what else we've got to give away for kids at this point.
Tyler. Now you can put the stuff inside the bag.
Yeah, you can put a lot of that stuff in the bag.
Then carry the bag.
Jackets now. Okay, here comes a really great surprise. In addition, fashion-wise, to those lovely book bags, we also have for each presenter, let me have one to show the audience.
Okay.
Kids don't know this yet. They may have picked up on the clue when I asked them what their jacket sizes were. Icom is going to be giving each kid jacket with their call signs on it so they can be fashionable along with their backpacks. Thank you again, Icom. So let's give these out.
All right,
Zechariah, there you go.
There you go.
I love it.
Going to bring Ray over?
Okay.
Ray, do you want to come up and say a word or two? Quickly. We've got many. Oh, and we'll let him pick for the 7100.
Where's the microphone? Well, this is my favorite part when she's wearing a wireless microphone to talk to the microphone. But the reason for the backpacks and the jackets is so they can wear them with pride at school. And the kids, what's that on your jacket? What does that mean? And maybe you can bring in some more youth into amateur radio. But one of the interesting things that I saw at the Visalia DX convention, a youth group came there. There was, Mary, how many? 6 girls?
I'd say about 6 or 7 girls.
6 or 7 girls and then 2 boys. The boys followed the girls, and I go, you just got into ham radio for the girls, didn't you? And they go, yeah. So look at how that's changing with today's youth. That's great. I mean, the guys were quiet in the background, and the girls were doing all the presentations and the talks, and it was
that's
great.
as it should be.
Later in life, they learned who's boss.
Thank you for everything you do.
We
Thank
try.
you, thank you, thank you.
But It's not just me. It's a team effort at Icom. When you go to coordinate this, what do I tell you to do?
Oh, he gave me a team to work with this time.
Coordinate with Diane.
With Diane.
Diane.
And the IT people, and there's Diane.
And the one with the smile on his face in the middle there is Wade. Wade did the jackets, the backpacks. From our Land Mobile division, Nick Pennance. He just got his general yesterday.
All right.
And then our video guy, Adrian, making all the magic happen for those of you watching on the internet. So thank you.
And they've all been in touch with a million emails back and forth. This didn't just get thought about 2 days ago to put this all together. And a Herculean effort.
Thank you.
We thank you for it very much. Thank you. Okay. Next we have...
Why don't you give one of these to Tom, because he didn't get a radio.
Oh, okay. Good suggestion. Stan, President Emeritus of RCA, Stan, wave at the people. Just came up with a really good suggestion. Tell Ray from Icom to cover his ears. We have a Kenwood radio. TM281A, great little transceiver. And he suggested, this is his suggestion, that we give this to Tom because he wasn't part of the original group of presenters, so he didn't get the radio. He's going to think about staying here. Okay, this is for you. Okay, Al, you're very welcome. And as long as do we have any more to give to just the presenters? Or we're ready to do audience now?
Everything the presenters are supposed to get is
They got
in the backpack.
it's all in the backpack. Okay.
He's an unofficial official presenter. Here's $100 from RCA.
In case you didn't hear that, because again he wasn't officially on the roster, only for time reasons, Charles Kermis, who was the sponsor for all the presenters with $100 each, just gave Tom another $100. So good for you. He may not be leaving with you when you go back to India.
Tax deduction.
Yes, anything you give to the Youth Forum, RCA.
Comes back to you. So.
Absolutely great. Thank you for pointing that out. It's a 501(c) corporation. Anything you donate to youth activities primarily goes to the Youth Forum here and for other people that we recognize during the year. Okay, let's give out, let's make this one for an adult, this one. Okay, so let's pick an adult ticket. Why don't you, Dave, you pick. That's the blue card. This is for an adult. Okay. We have George Malesi, KC8 RJS. All right. Enjoy.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Now let's give out the other Kenwoods to some youngsters in the audience. Okay, so let me have a youth. I'll pick the first one. And that would be Lucas, KD2ISB.
Yesterday here.
Tell them you just got your ticket. Tell them what you just got.
Oh, I just got my technician's license yesterday.
Yes! Good for you. Okay. And we have another Kenwood. And let's see, who's not affiliated? Why don't we let you, future Youth Forum presenter, he'll pick the next one, okay? So this would be for youth.
Okay.
thank you. Jason Nivens, KU8Z. You guys need penmanship lessons. ZYR. Ah, here you go. What license do you have? Technician. Okay. Technician license. Okay. And by the way, if you were picked for the luncheon, your cards went back in. This is a separate pick. Okay, what else have we got here to give away? What about your cards? The gift cards.
Yes. Those for the kids, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Those are $250. That's for adults. Okay.
Where are the MFJ?
Here.
These. Okay. I'm going to do this quickly because we're about to be escorted out, the luncheon people, but it's going to go on with the pick for all the prizes, etc. We've got 4 MFJ $200 gift certificates. Richard, you're here representing MFJ, and Ralph. Ralph asked.
We helped him out. It's his club that bought
Right. This is from Lance Cruz in conjunction with MFJ. Would you like this to go to 2 adults, 2 kids? No?
All the kids.
All kids. Okay. First one. I'll let you pick. I don't see a call sign on this one. Jolana? That's up to you. Is this okay for unlicensed people?
Yes.
Yes, come on. This is the youth forum who do that. Okay. Adam Brandt. No, she's going to get her phone. Adam Brandt. Here you go. Go to MFJ with that. And right after this, we're going to go to that luncheon, and we'll let Ralph and Stan continue. Samuel Markstrom, KC9PLP. Have a good time. And one more. Dalton, KK4TXW. Okay, I hate to leave the party. You all know I hate to leave the party. Okay, this is Jim from Dara, another huge supporter of youth activities. Okay, the 8 presenters, maybe you can give all your goodies to your parents to hold, and the 8 people who were picked. Bob Inderbitson.
Let's meet right in the hallway right now.
Okay, is here to escort us to that luncheon.
And if their parents want to come too, we'll show them where we're going.
Oh, okay. If the parents of these kids want to go, they'll show where they're going. Okay, and I'm going to turn it over to Stan Rubenstein. We've got that big Icom radio to give away and a lot of other prizes.
Yeah, quite a few items.
Yeah, we've got a lot of items left, so just...
Right here. I didn't see. I was going to tell him what to do.
Sure. One over here. Okay, so you'll carry on from here.
I will be happy to.
Okay, we'll see you later.
Okay.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
We'll see you later.
Can I get the mic from you, Carol?
Yes, you can.
Thank you so much. Excellent. Thank you.
Okay. Hi, how are you?
Okay, we've got some great goodies here.
Can I mic you up?
Oh, okay.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Sorry about that. That right there. And then you can put this where it's going to put it in your pocket or your belt.
That'll work great.
Thank you.
Okay, are we ready? We've got more goodies. I believe these are $250 gift certificates donated by DX Engineering. And who are we giving that one to?
Okay. Frank Flarlander, N7FF.
Okay.
There's one.
There you go.
Jim Pearson, KS80.
And now donated by AMSAT. Gouldsmiths getting started with amateur satellites.
Okay, Dottie O'Neill, Milaski, KC8, YF. And Jim Pearson, KS. Oh, sorry, you just did that. Sorry. We need another one. That's it. Frank Barlander, we did Frank. Lynn Elfman, N8IMW. Lynn?
Oh,
you're her husband. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, we could swap. That's okay.
Richard Stubbs brought an extra set of accessories for HT or a mobile installation radio, so that's going to go to an adult, and that will be Paul Schlunz, KB1ZAY.
Come on up. We've got lots of goodies here. Getting the whole kit.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now we have CQ calendars. We have the latest issue of CQ. If it's on a first come first served basis, and now the piece de resistance.
No, there's more. There's more.
Oh, there's more?
There's more.
Wait, there's more. Where's more?
Where's more? Oh, he has them. Oh, okay.
Oh, you just did.
No,
those are first come first served.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so now it's the pièce de résistance.
And then there's four subscriptions, 3 subscriptions to CQ.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Then let's do those
We'll raffle those off.
They were designated for youth.
Okay, these are for kids. Free 1-year subscriptions to CQ magazine. And we have
Tom Jose, VU2TO.
Here you go. Boy, they're going to like
Madison Schweitzer. Story of our life. Chris Guadalupe. K2USH.
There you go. You want to just grab another?
Drew Reba, KC9ZJX.
KC9, there he is. There you go.
And another 2 use for CQ amateur radio calendar.
That will be Caleb Kromus.
There we go, young man. Congratulations.
And Mr. Blank. Somebody has a sense of humor. It's nice to see. Eli Musgrave, KM4HFZ. Oh, and then here's 4 more for the kids. These are plate blocks of the amateur radio stamp from 1964. Coleman Ragsdale, KE0CRD.
Oh. Now don't lick those.
Dakota Kreishik. No call.
There he is.
Madeline Shaden, KE8AYG.
There you go.
And Joseph Waldinger, KD2CQL.
Yeah, this is it. That's it. That's it. Here we go. Is Ray? Yeah, Ray's still in the back. Whoever wins this is courtesy of Icom.
Ray, please come and pick the name.
Yeah, we'll have Ray pick it, and you can thank him personally for bringing this item. It's an IC 7100. It's HF, VHF, and UHF. An adult.
Adults.
Oh.
Oh, we're doing fishy shaker. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Roasted chilies from Denver. Drum roll. Stand.
Kilo Charlie 9 uniform whiskey uniform. Kieran Funfair.
Hey! Congratulations. Great.
And she's wearing a 51.
Karen, please just come here, picture with Ray. I'll take a picture so we can memorialize this in.
And you're wearing a blue 51.
There we go. Okay. 1, 2, 3, cheese.
This, somebody used to pack stuff up on the way back.
I'll send that over to Ray.
You should say thank you to everybody.
Thank you very much for attending the 28th. We'll see you next year for the 29th. Maybe we can get a bigger room.
Anyone want a wristband? We've got a whole bunch of